Hey everyone, and welcome to Level Up English Podcast. I'm Samantha, and it's great to have you here. Our mission is simple. Don't just learn English, learn in English.
And I'm Benjamin. We're thrilled you're joining us. In today's episode, part of our Real Talk series, we're tackling a skill that is the absolute foundation of all human connection, whether in the boardroom or at a barbecue.
That's right. We are diving deep into the art of greetings and introductions. And I know what some of you might be thinking. Greetings? I know how to say hello. But stick with us because there's a universe of difference between simply saying the words and actually creating a genuine positive first impression. This is a perfect example of what we mean by learning in English. It's about understanding the function of language in a real-world context.
Oh, I can personally and painfully attest to that. I still get a cold sweat when I think about one of my first big tech conferences years ago. I saw this legendary software developer, a personal hero of mine, standing alone near the coffee station. I literally spent 10 minutes hiding behind a pillar, rehearsing my lines, hyping myself up.
The pre-game ritual, I know it well. So what happened?
I finally marched over, my palm was all sweaty, and I managed to blurt out, "Hello, Mr. Jensen. I am Benjamin. I like your work." The delivery was so stiff, I sounded like a robot from a 50s sci-fi movie.
Oh no. Let me guess his reaction. A polite, slightly confused nod?
Exactly. He just sort of nodded, said a very quiet thanks, and immediately turned back to his phone, which was like a giant invisible shield. The conversation was dead on arrival. I felt about 2 inches tall. It was just so clunky and awkward, and the worst part is I had so much I genuinely wanted to ask him.
And that, right there, is the exact problem we're solving today. That clunky and awkward feeling is a classic symptom of having learned English phrases without having learned in English how they operate in a social machine. The textbook, "Hello, my name is formula," feels like a transaction or even an interrogation, not an invitation to connect. Our goal today is to give you a complete toolkit to move past that, to confidently and naturally initiate conversations that make people glad you approach them.
A toolkit is exactly what I needed back then. So where do we start? Let's rebuild my nightmare scenario. I'm at the networking event. I see someone I want to talk to. How do I avoid a repeat of the "I like your work" disaster?
Okay, let's break it down. The magic is in what I call the warm-up lap. You almost never want to lead with the introduction itself. That's the main course. You need an appetizer first. This is your opener or icebreaker. And the golden rule is, make it about the shared situation.
So instead of making it about me, I am Benjamin, I make it about us in this moment. We are at this event.
Precisely. It's non-intrusive and immediately establishes common ground. You're not a stranger demanding attention. You're a fellow participant sharing an experience. Let's role play. I'm your target, standing alone by the window, looking at the view. You're Benjamin, version 2.0. Go.
Clears throat, adopts a relaxed tone. Excuse me, the view from up here is pretty incredible, isn't it? I've been stuck in breakout sessions all day.
Oh, it really is. It's nice to get a moment of quiet. The sessions have been intense.
Tell me about it. The one on AI ethics was fascinating, but my brain is fried. By the way, I'm Benjamin.
I'm Samantha. It's a pleasure to meet you. And I was in that same session. It was a lot to take in.
It was, wasn't it? What was your key takeaway from it?
And scene. Look at what you did there. It was brilliant. You used a situational opener. You shared a personal feeling, "My brain is fried," which makes you relatable. You bridged to the introduction with a smooth "by the way." And then, this is crucial, you immediately tossed the conversational ball back to me with an open-ended question that was relevant to our shared experience.
Wow, that felt like a real conversation, not an interview. The open-ended question is the engine that keeps it moving. Now, what about a harder scenario? What if they aren't standing alone? What if they're already in a group of 3 or 4 people chatting? That's the final boss of networking.
Ah, the group approach. This requires more subtlety. The key here is listen, look, and link. First, you approach the group's perimeter and just listen for a moment. Don't stare, just casually be there. Look for an opening, a pause, a moment when the group laughs together. Then you link to what was just said.
So you're saying I shouldn't just walk up and say, "Hi, can I join you?"
Please don't. That puts the burden on them to stop their flow and accommodate you. Instead, if you hear them laughing about a speaker's funny anecdote, you could smile and say, "He was hilarious, wasn't he? His point about the future of work really stuck with me." You've now entered the conversation by adding value, not by interrupting. Then, when there's a natural next pause, you can introduce yourself.
That makes so much sense. You're joining the river instead of trying to dam it. But Samantha, we're focusing a lot on the words. I have a feeling my robot-like delivery in my old story was as much a problem as the words themselves.
You're 100% right. This is another core part of learning in English. Communication is only about 7% verbal. The rest is nonverbal. Let's talk about the trinity of nonverbal confidence. These are your secret weapons. 1. Eye contact. It doesn't mean a staring contest. Use the triangle technique. Look from one of their eyes to the other, then briefly down to their mouth, then back up. It shows you're engaged, not aggressive. 2. Open body posture. Stand with your shoulders back, arms uncrossed. When you approach someone, don't angle your body away as if you're ready to flee. Face them. It signals you're present and confident. 3. Vocal tone. This is huge. Vary your pitch. When you ask a question, let your tone go up slightly. When you state your name, say it with a clear, steady, downward inflection. I'm Benjamin. It sounds definitive and confident, not like a question.
My tone was probably my biggest mistake. I am Benjamin. I think I said it with a question mark at the end. Okay, let's put this all together in the most formal setting. The CEO is there. My boss introduces me. Mr. Sterling, I'd like to introduce Benjamin, our lead project manager. What's the gold standard response, combining the right words and the right nonverbals?
Gold standard. I love it. Okay. First, as your boss speaks, you make eye contact with Mr. Sterling and offer a slight smile. As you are introduced, you take a step forward, extend your hand for a firm, not crushing, handshake, and you say with a warm, respectful tone, "It's a genuine pleasure to meet you, Mr. Sterling." Then you add the magic ingredient, a specific, sincere point of connection. I was incredibly impressed by the keynote you gave at the London Summit last year.
Not just, "I like your work."
Never just, "I like your work." Specificity shows you've done your homework and your interest is authentic. It gives them something concrete to respond to. "Oh, you saw that talk? What did you find most interesting?" Now you're in a real dialogue with the CEO. That's how you make a first impression that leads to a second conversation.
So, to recap the Real Talk strategy for today. 1. Start with a warm-up lap. Use a situational opener about your shared context. 2. Introduce yourself smoothly with a phrase like, "By the way, I'm." Immediately pass the conversational ball with an open-ended question. 4. Master the trinity of non-verbal confidence: eye contact, body posture, and vocal tone. For formal introductions, elevate your language. It's a pleasure. And always use a specific, sincere compliment or connection point.
You've absolutely nailed it. This isn't just about memorizing phrases. It's about understanding the psychology of human connection. And when you master that, you're not just speaking English, you're building relationships in English. And that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the show notes on your podcast app or on our website for a full transcript and a list of all the key vocabulary from today's discussion. If you found this episode helpful, the best way to support the show is to hit follow or subscribe and leave us a quick review. It really helps new listeners discover us. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing. I'm Samantha, and this has been the Level Up English Podcast.